Live from a kitchen somewhere in Las Vegas, it is Keto Cooking. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Tom Garber, the Keto Cook. Well, today I'm going to be, first of all, I'm very happy right now because guess what? It is 84 degrees out, and I mean, it is gorgeous. So, I can turn the oven on today without worrying about sweating or burning down the house. All right, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be making some, I had last couple of videos you've seen me break down some of the pork. I'm going to put this in the oven and I'm going to slow braise it. I got some pretty fatty pieces here, and that's the reason why I was going to do it. Now I was going to run it through my smoker, but from all the dust, they've been doing some work around our place here, so it is loaded with dust. So I got to clean it out. I don't want to take a chance with it. Also today we are doing the spaghetti squash. Okay, now I cut these up. Maria will clean these out, and we're going to cook these up. But I'm going to show you other ways how we cooked it. This time I'm going to be putting it into the microwave just to show you how easy this is to do. Okay, let's cook. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some my spices to this. Maria's preparing the spaghetti squash. Okay, simple. I'm going to show you that in 1 second. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these in here. Now I'm not adding any water, any oil, nothing to it. It's going to braise in its own stuff. You can see this fat here. That's all going to render. Okay. And I got a nice piece here. Matter of fact, I might cut this one up a little bit. No, you know, I'm going to leave it on. So, some will be done. These probably be done before this one is. And what I'm going to do is just going to season it up. I'm going to put the oven on 350 and just going to let this go uncovered. There they are. Okay, so as they are, no water, no nothing in that. Okay, this is the whole idea with this because this produces some more moisture. All right, so what we want to do is we want to take and put this through the microwave and get as much moisture out of it as we possibly can, because it can be mushy. So if we do it in the oven, all right, you have to do it for a long time and it can start browning up on you. So we want it to be nice and clear. Marie, now what do you set this on for how long?
I do it like 5, so maybe 15.
15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes?
Depends on the...
Okay. So this is going to be a super easy dinner. Now, what I'm going to do now is probably for the spaghetti squash and how I'm going to make it, I am probably going to add in some, let's go up here. Let's go up in here into the pantry here. I have some mushrooms that I had opened. I'm going to probably rehydrate them. We both like this. So, yeah, we'll probably use that. And I think we have some scallions in there. So today's going to be almost like a potluck type of thing, but we're going to use the pork. Now these are the extra trimmings that I had from what I cut up. Okay, I bought the spaghetti squash probably a couple days ago. So, well, actually, by the time this is going to be put up on YouTube, it's probably been 2 weeks. Okay, so yeah, let's get cooking. Let's get cooking. Okay, in the background, we're still doing the spaghetti squash in the microwave. Worry about how much longer do you think?
Maybe 5 more minutes.
Another five minutes, so that would be a total of 20 minutes altogether?
Yeah.
Just about 20 minutes. You want to get it right, you don't overdo it, and yet you don't want to underdo it also, because then it's not going to taste good, let's put it that way. So, I normally don't do what I'm going to be doing right now, but I got to call something out here that's been on my mind since I've seen it on YouTube. Now there is a doctor that's out there, and all of a sudden he became a cook. It cracks me up because he starts out doing one thing, and then studies show, and then he switches and does something else. I've been doing this for a long time. Now, he had called out that not to use avocado oil or olive oil, okay, when you're sauteing, okay, to use either butter, grass-fed, high-end butter, or ghee, okay, because he had talked about smoke points. All right. So the smoke point of the oil can turn toxic, can make it rancid, and then therefore do damage to your system. Doctor, you got to understand one thing. The whole idea is to use this oil, and I use both, and butter, okay? But you don't want to bring it to the smoke point. That's the problem. That's where your thing was a little flawed in my eyes. Now, this is just my opinion. Now, he rattled off a whole bunch of science. I have years of experience, okay, cooking this way. Olive oil and butter, or avocado oil and butter. You don't bring it till it smokes and then put your food in, because then it's at the smoke point already. That's where you don't want to be. You want to get it up to a temperature that when you put it in, it'll sizzle, and then you can do your cooking. No harm, no foul. That's it. I don't want to talk too much more about it. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, on the stove, I have my pan. I'm going to heat it up a little bit. I'm going to be adding in my olive oil today, and I'm going to use some butter. I'm going to saute up the garlic and the green onions, the scallions. Then I'm going to drain off the mushrooms that I have rehydrating here, and then I will put them in towards the end. Now this mixture, okay, that's what's going to go in to the spaghetti squash with a little bit more olive oil and butter for the sauce, and then on the side we will slice up the pork and do it that way. That's another thing they keep talking about. Well, you stay away from pork. Can't afford the beef. Can't afford it, guys. So guess what? You're not going to hurt yourself if you have pork. Simple as that. Okay, olive oil's in the pan. It's getting up kind of hot here now. There again, don't want to bring it. You don't want to see smoke on this before you put your food in. That's not the point. The point is you want to test it. See the butter right there? Okay, I should have got a close-up on it. Okay, that's where you want it to be, because now it's melting the butter. You don't see any smoke, and that's what they talk about. You don't want to bring it to a smoke point. Bring it to the smoke point, it's done. It's over. You can't use it anymore. Well, there you have it. Okay. Get this around here a little bit. Put a little Tommy spice in here. I just want to put a little bit of, once I start smelling everything, then I'm going to take it off, because that's where you want this to be. You don't want to overcook. You want the flavor is what you want. So by using olive oil and butter, they complement one another, okay? If you use just straight butter, it's going to burn. All right, now you get that foul taste. So, a little bit of olive oil in there, complements one another, okay? And you don't get that burnt taste. These are sauteing up nice, beautiful aroma. Now, I'm not going to squeeze the water out of these. I'm just going to put them in. Today, I'm going to show you how I cut up my spaghetti squash. Now, I've been using a lot of spaghetti squash lately because you know why? It's good. So what I'll do is I'll take a tea towel or a dish towel. I'll wrap it around the base of it. You got to be careful because this thing wobbles quite a bit, especially the way I'm cutting it. So I take a good heavy sharp knife, okay? And as I'm cutting it, I'm turning the blade to help it get away from the squash itself. So these are cut into rings. I will be cleaning out the seeds. I will be keeping the seeds. I like to roast them off. It tastes just like pumpkin seeds, and it's just enough. Now each ring that I'm cutting would be a portion size, okay? I will put them into the oven. I'll roast them off. It'll get a little Tommy spice on them. Rub some olive oil on it. I'll roast them off, and we will just use what we need. The rest I will take and put into a Ziploc bag, or you can put them in a vacuum seal bag. I put them in a Ziploc bag because we use them quite a bit. So they're a good go-to if you want to make a quick dinner. A ways back, I made some shrimp and spaghetti squash, and I tell you what, just having it on hand, cook time was less than 10 minutes. So, yeah. Okay, so if you're going to be cutting spaghetti squash and your first time doing it, I recommend getting cut gloves. Okay, this was sent to me by a good friend of mine, Mike's Ketorific Journey. Sent me this because I did cut myself on my mandolin. Started as a joke, but I got to tell you something. You need to have these. So you can put these on and cut away. All right, spaghetti squash is done. As you can see, it's smoking like crazy. So right here, you can get into it, and you can actually pull it apart, and it is dry, not dripping, no water dripping from it. Now, like I said, you can do it two different ways. I'm going to show you in a couple clips from another video. We put it into the oven. You can roast it, but it still has that little wet texture. This is very dry. Has a great flavor to it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be pulling some of this apart as soon as we can handle it, and I'm going to be mixing it in with this. This is almost like spaghetti squash primavera. Listen to that name. Okay. All right, what's all this hoopla about this spaghetti squash? Well, first of all, it looks like pasta, but it's not. It's spaghetti squash. And that's the thing you got to get in your head, is that using this is for a couple different reasons. Very, very low carb, very filling, and versatile. Any kind of sauce or anything that you put to it, it picks up that flavor. So I have different, as you see here, different ways of doing it. And you know what? It's a great way to get back into adding a little bit of vegetables into the keto lifestyle. Okay. Spaghetti squash is pretty well cooled off, enough to work with. So, all you need is a fork, and you can just start working it. Okay? Take it all off. Now, got to make sure that you don't catch up onto any of these of the outside. The skin on it, it can be a little crunchy, so take care when you do it this way. All right, you can just open it up. Now, there is a lot of people who do it the other way, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. All right, either way is fine. Okay, but once you make it the other way, you got to use it right away. Okay, so this way you don't have to use it. I can take these rings right now, okay, and I can either put them in a vacuum sealer or into a Ziploc bag, whatever. Take the air out of it and put them in the freezer. Next time you want, just because there's the two of us, all right? So we use this just as one serving. And if you don't think you can get away with just one of these, look at that one right there, okay? That would be one serving. Now I'm a pretty good sized guy, and I would struggle with that to eat this down. All right, so now getting back, I want to just open it up a little bit. All right, so that's one that we're going to put off to the side here. And then we're going to take the next biggest one, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. And just pull it around. Now, I do believe, I have to look it up, and I will before I say anything, but this is pretty low carb, especially we have to find out what the serving size. I believe it's a cup, but, I mean, you can get cleaner than that on here, but you know what? It's all off. So, this is very fast, okay? I know the video is a little longer, but in the same token, get another fork here. Open this up. Now, if you want to have some spaghetti sauce to add to this, it's great. Today, I'm going to be doing just our vegetables that I sauteed up before. The mushrooms, garlic, and also some green onion. Can't go wrong with that. You can add broccoli to this. But we're also going to have some pork today. And this is the whole idea about being versatile. We shop. We try to think ahead what we can have for the week or whatever, or what we have in the freezer. That is a big, big to-do for us. There again, prices are up. But in the same token, you got to adapt. There's nothing you can do for it. So you got to adapt what you're doing and still keep it low carb, and there's no problem with it, none whatsoever. So for the naysayers that keto doesn't work, you haven't tried it, you haven't done it right, and you haven't tried it the right way. So, okay. Okay, pork is out of the oven. It is done. Look at that beautiful piece right there. Okay, what we'll do is we'll slice this bad boy up. A couple nice small pieces. All right. Now, like I said, I didn't trim any of the fat off it because I wanted that to render down and to make the meat juicy. Into this pan right now, I got the pan heating up, and I am going to use olive oil. Put a little bit of olive oil in there, and also I'm going to put in some butter, like I always do. I mean, some things just get on my nerves. I really don't speak about it because, I mean, there's nothing I can't control it, but it just, some things just piss me off. All right, now, in this bowl here, we already have the mushrooms, onions, and the scallions, and the garlic already cooked down. So, what I'm going to do now is this is heating up. I have spaghetti squash portioned out. I'm going to do one at a time. This way, it's an even type of portion for both of us. Not that we would argue over it or anything like that, but now this is going to be picking up the flavor. Now I'm going to put a little Tommy Spice in there. New to my channel, Tommy Spice is equal parts granulated salt, granulated pepper, granulated garlic, and granulated onion, all equal parts. On that little vessel right there, it is a tablespoon each. Now, right in here, I'm going to make a little hole. And then I'm going to take some of the veggies and put them in. Now, before I said primavera, now primavera could be done with all different types of vegetables. That's basically what it is. But these are vegetables, so I can get away with saying it. Now, a couple components I'm going to add into this, and it is my Mexican oregano. Take them, I'm going to crush it up. And let that go into here. And some pepperoncino. Okay? Just a shake. We don't want it too hot, but we want that little bit of just want to make sure that that gets heated through. You want that flavor. Okay, we're going to plate this. Put this all up together here. Now I'm going to make a little well here. This is why I always say, play with your food. little essence. Voila! All right, folks, I mean, there it is right there, okay? Now that is 1 ring of spaghetti squash, okay? So now a cup of spaghetti squash is just a little over 6 grams, maybe 6.5 grams of carbohydrates. The roasted pork is off the charts good. I'm telling you, the mushrooms in this, with the onion and the garlic, the olive oil and the butter, I mean, you can't get no better than this. And I'm telling you, this is really good. Probably more than what I can eat. So there might be some left over for later. There it is. Thanks, everybody. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Tune in next week. Don't forget the podcast. Click on the podcast. I'm trying to build that up. And leave a nice comment. Like, subscribe. Catch you next week. Thank you.